Hi, it's Dr. Jeffrey Mark here. For this week's COVID-19 vaccine updates, I want to first acknowledge that we reached a major milestone of a total of 12 million COVID-19 cases here in the United States as of November 23rd, 2020. This, of course, is the highest amount of cases for any single country in the world. Last week, we talked about the Pfizer BioNTech messenger RNA vaccine, which has been updated from 90% effective to 95% effective by the company from its own current data. They've also applied for the FDA emergency use rule. In the meantime, we now have Moderna's messenger RNA vaccine touted at a 94.5% efficacy rating, again by their own trial data. All the data being reported, of course, will need third-party and the usual vigorous scientific review when they are completely released to the public. Here is what we currently know comparing the two vaccines. Let me draw out a comparison. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine and Moderna's vaccine both utilize messenger RNA, which we explained previously is a working copy of DNA, which the viruses don't have, and are delivered to the working part of our cells, or the cytoplasm, encased in a lipid bilayer. Incidentally, our DNA is housed in the nucleotide area of our cells, and in theory would not interact with the messenger RNA in the cytosol. The messenger RNA interacts with the protein-producing factories called ribosomes, and the ribosomal factory follows the messenger RNA blueprint to produce a protein, in this case a SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, and it is to this protein that the body reacts to. It causes B white cells to make antibodies, activates CD4 T white blood cells, and activates CD8 T white blood cells as well. Both require 2 doses to complete the vaccine process. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is given on day 1, and then on day 22, which is 21 days or 3 weeks later after the first dose. The Moderna vaccine is given on day 1 and then on day 29. So Moderna recently announced that their vaccine was not only 94.5% effective, but that it could be stored at 25 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 month, which is much easier to transport and distribute, as this temperature can be maintained in most hospital and clinical refrigerators, whereas minus 94 degrees Fahrenheit can be more of a challenge for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, however, can be stored at 25 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 days, and if it was stored at the minus 94 degrees, can last 6 months. There are other major differences between the two vaccines. The average onset of any symptoms, such as fever or fatigue, was seen 7 days after administration for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, while for the Moderna vaccine, the onset of any symptoms on average typically weren't seen until day 14 after administration. With the onset of symptoms, the subjects were tested for COVID-19 infection. In the Moderna study, the study design called for 30,000 subjects that were randomized and double-blinded, meaning that both the subjects and the investigators didn't know who actually got the vaccine. And they either received placebo or the actual vaccine. So 11,000 subjects were from communities of color, 7,000 were over the age of 65, and 5,000 were under the age of 65 but had health risks such as obesity or diabetes or other comorbidities. Half of the 30,000 enrolled subjects got the vaccine, and the other half got placebo, which is no vaccine. The subjects got injections on day 1 and day 29 and were told to call in to report any symptoms, especially fever, fatigue, shortness of breath, loss of smell, diarrhea, and other symptoms common to COVID-19. The callers were then tested for COVID-19. After 95 subjects were found to have COVID-19 per study design protocols, the investigators were unblinded and the data examined by a third party, not Moderna, of course. When they looked at the 95 cases, it was found that 90 of the COVID-19 subjects got the placebo and only 5 had gotten the vaccine. Now, what is interesting is that in the Pfizer BioNTech data, there were no reported severe cases, but in the Moderna study, it was found that the 11 subjects had severe cases, and all of these 11 had received the placebo. None of the 5 cases of COVID-19 positive subjects with the vaccine had any severe cases. The rest of the positive cases were from the placebo group. This is promising news because the effectiveness of the Moderna vaccine appears to be 95% effective, and when even infections occurred, there appears to be a protective effect against getting a more severe case of COVID-19. Statistically, both vaccines appear to be about 95% effective in prevention of getting COVID-19. We do not know, however, if they prevent infection or if people that are exposed can still pass the virus on to others. So infection results from the replication of the SARS-CoV-2 virus in the body. Being infected may or may not result in any symptoms or disease. Viral shedding and therefore transmission to other people may occur even if the disease does not develop. These studies only looked at prevention of symptoms from the use of the vaccine, but nothing about sterilization of infection or elimination of transmissibility of the virus in the infected person. If the vaccine could prevent infection, then we would see a drop in transmissibility of the virus, and this would go a long way to generating herd immunity. This would be where the vaccine in the person exposed with the virus not only protects from the symptoms, but also prevents from the further spread of the virus to other people. If the vaccines only prevented the symptoms but had no effect on spread of the virus to other people, then hospitalization rates may drop, but asymptomatic spread of the virus would continue, and susceptible hosts with significant comorbidities, especially non-vaccinated hosts, might succumb to severe disease and the virus would continue to spread. In terms of the safety, the Data Monitoring Committee has not reported any significant safety issues with either vaccine. Pfizer has stated more safety data will be released in the next few weeks. Moderna has given a little more information about the side effects that their subjects experienced after they were vaccinated. These in general were mild and relatively brief and similar to other viral or flu vaccines and included fatigue, myalgias, arthralgias, headache, pain, and redness at the infection site. So you can see the differences and similarities depicted here clearly. They both prevent symptoms and disease, and effectively at 95% efficacy. However, we don't know if they will prevent infection or spread of the disease. They both seem to have limited side effects and so far seem safe, but long-term safety data is not available. We also don't know how long the protection will last. AstraZeneca, in partnership with Oxford University, just announced that their vaccine is at least 70% to 90% effective. We will examine this vaccine as well as the Johnson & Johnson vaccines in our next discussions. These, of course, are not messenger RNAs, so it'll be a different discussion for sure. I hope you'll join me next time. So until then, take care and stay healthy. If you want to learn about how functional medicine can help you with gut health, brain health, or immune health, you can contact us at info@jeffreymarkmd.com or call area code 925-736-9828. For more information on Be Supreme to optimize mental function and mood, cardiovascular health, and immune function, you can click on the link below or call our office at area code 925-736-9828 or email info@jeffreymarkmd.com. You can also click below for more information on Omega's Complete to optimize brain health and memory, support heart health, and modulate the inflammatory response. For comments, questions, or if you want to learn more about AFH supplements, you can call us at area code 925-736-9828 or email us at info@jeffreymarkmd.com. Take care and stay healthy.